Hello everyone, welcome to History class. Today we are going to continue Lesson 8 of History, the Great Uprising of 1857. The main objectives of the lesson are you will come to know about the Revolt of 1857, causes of the Revolt of 1857, outbreak of the revolt in Meerut, main centers of the revolt, suppression of the revolt, nature of the revolt, and effects of the uprising. The topic of the day is Causes of the Revolt of 1857, and the main objectives of today's topic are you will come to know about economic causes, military causes, and immediate causes of the revolt of 1857. But before starting today's topic, let us recall definitions and cross questions related to the previous topic. Definitions: revolt, doctrine of lapse, subsidiary alliance, dynasty, and sati. Now answer these cross questions. What are the other names given to the Great Uprising of 1857? Which ruler was deposed on the grounds of misgovernance? Tell any two political causes of the revolt of 1857. Tell any two social and religious causes of the revolt of 1857. Now let us discuss new words related to today's topic. Sepoy, the Indian soldier serving in the British Army. Mutiny, forcible or active resistance to lawful authority. Rifle, a gun with long barrel which is held to the shoulder to fire. Handicrafts, handmade decorative items. Zamindar, a landowner. Cartridge, case containing an explosive charge for blasting. Now, the topic is Economic Causes of the Revolt of 1857. But before reading from the book, let us discuss the main points. The main economic causes of the revolt of 1857 were absolute control of the trade by the British, no development in Indian industries, pitiable condition of Indian agriculture, impose of land tax on the tax-free lands, destruction of high-class landlords, deprival of higher posts to the educated Indians, economic disadvantages and losses. Now let us read from the book. Economic policies of the British were not in favor of the Indians. As a result, there was widespread distress among the masses. Masses means people. The land revenue policies of the British made the life of poor peasants tough. Peasants were trapped in the clutches of money lenders. They often lost their lands. A new class took the place of old zamindars. These outsiders were not concerned about the peasantry. Means the economic policies which were made by the British were not in the favor of Indians. So, the Indians had to suffer a lot. The Indian farmers were discontent with the land revenue policy and the consequent loss of their land. In fact, it was the peasantry that bore the heavy burden of taxes to provide money for the trade of the company, for the cost of administration, and the wars of British expansion in India. For example, in Bengal, the land revenue was double the amount collected under the Mughals. Not even a part of this revenue was spent on the development of agriculture or on the welfare of the cultivator. Increase in the land revenue forced many peasants into selling their lands. The traditional zamindars were replaced by the merchants and moneylenders. These new landowners had no concern for the farmers and farming. The economic decline of the farmers affected the cultivation and led to many famines. Machine made goods from Britain were cheaper. Cheaper means inexpensive. Due to this, Indian artisans and craftsmen suffered. British goods were not taxed in India, while Indian goods were heavily taxed in Britain. Therefore, the Indian traditional industry of handicrafts was ruined. Means the English subordinated the Indian economy to the interests of the British trade and industry. Indian industries began to decline. Mainly, the Indian silk and cotton goods could not compete in the foreign markets because heavy taxes were imposed on them. One way free trade was carried out, and after the Industrial Revolution, the British wanted to use India as a supplier of raw materials and a market for their finished goods. The English exported raw materials from India and poured into India large quantities of goods manufactured in England. In short, trade and commerce began to be controlled and dominated by the English, and there was a sudden and quick collapse of Indian handicrafts. It led to the impoverishment of the craftsmen and the artisans. The British policies of exporting raw materials also proved very harmful for the Indian handicrafts, and the important industrial towns of India like Dhaka and Surat declined. And in this way, the Indian traditional industry of handicrafts was devastated. Now let us read and discuss about the military causes of the revolt of 1857. The sepoys means the Indian soldiers who were serving in the British army helped the Britishers to establish their empire in India. But instead of receiving awards or promotions, they were humiliated by the British. There was a discrimination between the Indian and the British soldiers. The highest pay given to an Indian sepoy was less than the minimum pay of the European recruit. The Act of 1856 made it compulsory for new recruit to serve overseas. Now let us read from the book. The Indian sepoys were not satisfied with the policies of the British. Their salaries were low in comparison to those of the British soldiers. They did not get equal opportunities of promotion. The allowance or bhatta was discontinued. This was given when they were sent outside the country to fight. Means the extension of British rule in India adversely affected the service conditions of the sepoys. The wages of the Indian soldiers were too less to support their families. An English soldier was paid more than 8 times an Indian sepoy, while their duties were of a similar nature. The Indian had no chance of promotion either. They were not appointed to the high posts in the army, and no Indian could rise higher than the post of Subedar, and his salary was too less than that of an English soldier. In fact, the sepoy's life was very hard and he resented his inferior position. The Indian soldiers were required to serve in areas away from their homes without extra payment and additional bhatta or foreign service allowance. New rules were made that prohibited the use of caste marks. Prohibited means banned, and caste marks means signs denoting caste of a person. There was no doubt that the English East India Company established the British Empire in India with the help of the Indian soldiers. Despite of this fact that the Indian soldiers were as efficient as their British counterparts, they were poorly paid, ill-fed and badly housed. British military authorities forbade the sepoys from wearing caste marks, and even the Indian soldiers were not allowed to keep beards and to wear the turbans. This showed disregard for the sentiments of the sepoys. In 1856, the company passed General Service Enlistment Act. According to this, every new recruit had to serve overseas. In those times, crossing of the sea was a violation of religious sentiments of many Indians. Basically, according to traditional belief, it was prohibited for a Brahmin to cross the seas. The British Parliament passed the General Service Enlistment Act in 1856, and as per this act, the Indian soldiers could be sent overseas on duty. The act did not take into account the sentiments of the Indian soldiers. The Brahmin soldiers saw in this a danger to their caste. This led to a feeling of resentment among them. Moreover, the soldiers were unhappy with what was happening in the countryside. Their families had lost their traditional lands due to the exploitative taxation policies. Means the Indian soldiers were totally unhappy and discontent because of the British policies. Even the families of the soldiers had lost their traditional lands because of the high taxes that were imposed by the British. So we can say that the Indian soldiers were entirely exploited by the British. Now let us read and discuss about the immediate causes of the revolt of 1857. The immediate cause of the revolt of 1857 was introduction of the Enfield rifle. In 1856, the British authorities decided to replace the old-fashioned musket called the Brown Bess by the new Enfield rifle. The loading process of the Enfield rifle involved bringing the cartridge to the mouth and biting off the top greased paper with the teeth. In January 1857, there was a rumor in the Bengal regiments that the greased cartridge had the fat of cow and pig. The sepoys were now convinced that the introduction of greased cartridges was a deliberate move to defile Hindu and Muslim religions, as the cow was sacred to Hindus and pig meat was forbidden by the Quran. So, both the Hindus and the Muslim soldiers refused to use these cartridges and staged an uprising when they were forced to use them. Now, let us read from the book. Immediate causes. The whole country was discontented and angry against the unjust policies of the British. Only a small spark was required to ignite the situation. The British provided the spark in the form of Enfield rifles. This new rifle was introduced in the army in 1856. Its cartridge had a greased paper around it. To load the rifle, the sepoy had to bite off the paper. Means the entire India was dissatisfied and angry against the unfair policies which were made by the British. By 1857, the material for mass uprising was ready. Only a spark was needed to set it on fire. It was triggered by the greased cartridges. A new type of rifle, that was Enfield rifle, was introduced in the army in 1856. Greased cartridges were to be used in them. Before fitting them in the rifle, the soldiers had to bite the tip of the cartridges with their teeth. It was rumored that the grease in the paper was coated with the fat of cows and pigs. This went against the beliefs of both Hindus and Muslims. The news of these rifles spread like forest fire. Letters were exchanged among the sepoys. The sepoys rejected the use of Enfield rifles. Means a rumor spread that the grease in the paper was coated with the fat of cows and the pigs. Both the Hindu and the Muslim sepoys were enraged and thought that the English government wanted to defile their religions. And the news of these rifles spread in almost all parts of India. Even the letters were exchanged among the Hindu and the Muslim sepoys. Both refused to use these cartridges, and when force was used against them, they became infuriated and rose in revolt. Mangal Pandey, a soldier, attacked his superiors in Barakpur on 29th March 1857 as a protest against these rifles. He was arrested and executed. Means on 29th March 1857, Mangal Pandey, a Brahmin sepoy at Barakpur, refused to use the greased cartridge. When he was forced to do so, he flew up in the rage and killed two English soldiers. He was arrested and executed. The execution of Mangal Pandey sparked off revolts in Meerut, Delhi, Kanpur, Jhansi, Lucknow, Banaras, the present day Varanasi, Awadh, that is the present day Uttar Pradesh, Gwalior, and other parts in the northern and the central India. So, we can conclude that there were many causes of the revolt of 1857, but the immediate cause was that Mangal Pandey, a sepoy who protested against the use of Enfield rifles, was hanged, and it caused anger in Indian soldiers, which led to the outbreak of the revolt of 1857. Now, I hope today's topic is clear to you. Your today's homework is to learn the related terms and try to solve the related back exercises.